This is The Scoop for Friday.
I'm Juanita Hurtado Huérfano with the WMNF News Headlines. The principal at Wiregrass Elementary is under investigation after nearly 24 staff members and parents demanded his removal this week. The demands came at a school board meeting where they cited safety concerns. Staff members reported physical assault from students and administration dismissing the incident. They also claimed retaliation when they reported issues and that the school is not abiding by the student code of conduct. Parents, on the other hand, said the school lacked resources for students with special needs and that the administration was unresponsive. According to the Tampa Bay Times, the investigation is ongoing. A TV series based on the book A Land Remembered will no longer film at Fort DeSoto Park in Pinellas County. WMNF's Chris Young reports the decision comes after an outcry from environmental advocates.
According to Axios, producers say they will no longer pursue a permit to film at the park. Beth Voorhees is the president of St. Petersburg Audubon and a professor at Eckerd College. She says she's relieved.
I, of course, love the book, A Land Remembered, as do members of St. Petersburg Audubon and others who work in the environmental community. But Fort DeSoto is just such a precious environment. It's one of our last barrier islands that isn't completely developed, and so it's really important to keep it as natural as possible.
In a Facebook post, St. Petersburg Audubon expressed concerns about filming on fragile dunes and beaches, beach driving, and the use of cattle, pigs, and horses in the sensitive lands. The organization says that the filming would have potentially impacted plovers, oyster catchers, gopher tortoises, sea turtles, and dune plants. Chris Young, WMNF News.
Florida's oldest independent weekly newspaper, The Gabber, is fighting to stay afloat. In 2020, former employee Kathy Celestri and her husband bought the paper to prevent its closure. It has operated in Gulfport since 1968. Since then, they have poured tens of thousands of dollars of their own money to keep it going. For Celestri, keeping the paper alive is about keeping local journalism and reliable information available for her community.
We're at their city council meetings or their town council, depending on their form of government. We have reporters there. And it's so important to me that we have qualified, trained journalists who know the rules, who all agree on a common set of ethics, telling people what's happening with their government. Because when you only get your news from social media, you don't know who's behind that post. You don't know, do they have a dog in that fight? Do they understand all of the issue? What qualifies them to give you the news?
But that work is expensive, from paying a living wage to reporters to covering legal costs, and advertising alone no longer pays the bills. Celestri pointed to large newsrooms cutting down their staff and local journalists running to pick up the slack. For the Gabber to continue in business and hold local government officials accountable, they need to raise $160,000 by July 1st. Full disclosure, WMNF and the Gabber have a content-sharing agreement. The Florida Department of Education is proposing a new rule to bar undocumented students from attending state colleges. Under the proposal, each board of trustees in the Florida college system will be required to ensure that all students admitted are citizens of the United States or lawfully present in the United States. This will require students to provide documentation proving citizenship or legal status. The department will hold a public hearing on May 14th at Miami-Dade College. This is the latest move from the department to limit non-citizen students at public higher education institutions, even if they are in the country legally. A bill considered during the legislative session will have capped undergraduate admissions for non-Florida residents, but it is stalled in the Senate. Today, it will be sunny and warm with highs in the low 90s. Tonight, it will be clear with lows in the mid-60s. And tomorrow, it will be sunny and warm with highs in the low 90s. I'm Juanita Hurtado Huérfano with the WMNF News Headlines.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.